Aimlabs has been my go-to aim trainer for quite a while now. Between its Valorant integration and comprehensive goal tracking, I've found myself gravitating towards it over Kovacs for the past 2 years, which is why when they announced their collaboration with Asus, the Harpe Ace gaming mouse, I was pretty excited, but then I saw the price tag, $149.99. For flagship pricing, they better be bringing the best the industry has to offer. And that's what I'm hoping to figure out today, so let's take a look. Aimlabs has been going hard with the collabs in recent months. They had a Skypad collab that I'm still pretty bummed I missed out on. They did a collab with Champion, yes, that Champion, that I think is pretty sick. And the most recent collab was with Asus ROG that included a mouse and a pad that integrated very closely with the Aimlab software to help really nail down your sensitivity. I never paid that much attention to Asus's peripheral releases in the past, as they mostly seem to be a miss for me. They employ a design language that just really wasn't my style, and their shapes didn't seem like they were anything that great. Their PC components are top-notch, don't get me wrong, and while their peripherals up until now haven't been my cup of tea, I guess they likely fit the look that someone out there is going for. The unboxing experience of the Harpe Ace is pretty unique, with the folding out design that presents you with a thank you card from the directors, engineers, and CEO of Aimlabs, and then revealing a mouse in this neat protective cover. Pulling away the bottom gives us the USB cable, the dongle extender, some documentation, extra feet, and some really nice grips. The mouse feels really great in hand with a weight of 54 grams in a closed, solid shell. It has a texture that's similar to the Viper V2 Pro, kind of rough, not matte, like the coating you'd find on something like the G Pro Superlight. Holding this mouse in my hand, it felt incredibly similar to the G Pro X Superlight, but this wasn't immediately clear to me. And that's probably because while the back end is rounded like the Superlight, the front end is much flatter with the sides flaring out quite a bit more. With a flatter front end, it makes it way easier to grip over the GPX, if only by a small amount. This gets rid of that egg shape that a lot of people take issue with and adds some significant comfort grooves in the trigger. So if you enjoy a lot about the G Pro X but find it hard to grip, this might be a bonus for you. It measures 127 millimeters in length, a height of 39 millimeters, and a grip width of 63 millimeters. Its measurements are about as close to the GPX as you can get. There are ridges built directly into the texture of the mouse, which I'm not the biggest fan of design-wise, and they didn't help me a ton with grip. Sensor here is the ROG branded PixArt sensor. I'm assuming it's a 3395 given that the mouse claims a pretty impressive 90 hours of battery life with the RGB off. Which, speaking of, yeah, the mouse has RGB. It's only on the scroll wheel, and it's an interesting thing to see a competitive focused gaming mouse in 2023 have RGB. This would bother me a little bit more if we were sacrificing in the weight department, but at 54 grams, that really isn't an issue. It's just RGB in the scroll wheel, and it's just such a little effect that I kind of prefer it wasn't there at all, but to each their own. Mouse 1 and 2 are really solid, using ROG's own branded micro switches rated for 70 million clicks. These feel really great. They're a little bit stiff, but once you get used to them, they're easily some of the best tuned switches I've seen ever. Full stop. Little to no side play in the triggers, and like almost zero pre and post travel. Side buttons feel great, same deal here. Super crispy and practically no pre or post travel. Scroll wheel feels good, easy to depress, super buttery. I got no issues here. Feet here are 100% pure PTFE feet. We get 4 triangle-ish style feet in each corner of the mouse, but you have the option of replacing the front feet with one single large one that comes in the box. I always enjoy the option, although lately I have been preferring smaller skates, but it's a nice option. It's got built-in Bluetooth functionality, which is a great feature to have, but it isn't exactly what I'm looking for in a competitive esports-focused gaming mouse. and would expect it in something that's built a little more for casual gaming. While the mouse is a pretty good mouse, the main selling point of this mouse, that is what really sets it apart from any other mouse you can buy on the market today, is its Aimlab integration. Pairing the Harpe Ace with Aimlabs allows you to dial in your sensitivity, angle snapping, and liftoff distance. And while in theory this is a cool feature, it didn't seem to really offer anything over a traditional mouse that allows you to configure your own DPI, at least not to justify going with it over a mouse that, say, you might prefer the shape of. I was super excited to see that Aimlabs was working closer with mouse companies to integrate their peripherals into Aimlabs natively. I just wish it wasn't with a specific mouse with a specific company. I'd rather see Aimlabs work with more companies, be it Razer, Logitech, Final Mouse, whoever, to allow each individual person to decide what mouse works for them and then work on fine-tuning their settings to give them the best possible experience. The Harpe Ace is a good enough mouse. I just don't know that it's worth the $150 that they're charging for it. The Aimlab integration is nice, but if you don't like the shape of the mouse, once you've figured out your settings via Aimlab, you're kind of just out the $150 you paid for it. For me personally, a mouse would have to be something incredibly special or very different to take me away from my current mains. And I've known for a while that the GPX style shape is good, but it just isn't the best for me. I did the settings optimizer with Aimlabs, and then I just transferred those settings over to a shape that I prefer. And that is a great feature, and hopefully in time we will see it integrated into more than just one mouse. As for the mouse itself, comparing it to other offerings from Asus, it's a major step up, as most of their other mice weren't even really worth it for me to look at. I'm sure there's an audience that enjoys that super aggressive gamery look, but it just ain't for me. My hope is working closer with Aimlabs gives us more competitive, esports ready gaming mice to compete with the likes of Razer and Logitech. The Harpe Ace is a great first step for Asus and Aimlabs if they're looking to take on the kings of the gaming mice world. I'd love to see a more refined version of this shape, maybe ditch the Bluetooth and RGB and go for a sub 50 gram weight. I'd like to see the price dropped by quite a significant amount. Putting this at the $80 to $90 range would make it a strong contender against mice like the Pulsar X2 for those who maybe don't want a claw fingertip style mouse, and make it an incredibly strong competitor for the G Pro X Superlight. The GPX is one of the most popular gaming mice at the moment, and it's hard to justify going with a similar shape when the de facto king of wireless gaming mice can be had for usually about $30 cheaper. At under $100, this mouse would be a strong contender for those interested in the G Pro X style shape, but not wanting to drop major cash on the Superlight itself. And you get the added benefit of Aimlabs integration, helping you hone your sensitivity and your settings. But I will certainly be keeping an eye out for any future Aimlabs and Asus collabs, that's for sure. That's going to do it for today. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like, maybe consider leaving a comment or hitting that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next video.